Hey, Jose.
Hi, Nate. How you doing?
Good.
Let's get this party started.
All right.
Wow. So this morning I went to go food shopping, and I was checking out, and it was taking a little bit longer. There was a woman in front of me, and I was kind of like mumbling under my breath, like, "What the hell? Let's go. Let's move." And she kept smiling at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know I must look good today." I'm like thinking, so finally I mumbled loud enough that they could hear. I'm like, "What is going on?" And then she steps closer to me and smiles and says, "God told me to do this." And I'm like, "Do what? Like, take your sweet ass time and hold up my day?" And she's like, "No, I bought your groceries." I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh, wow!" And that's what was taking so long, that she had paid for my groceries and tried to explain to them to. And I'm like, "Oh, wow, you didn't have to do that. Like, why? Why?" She's like, "Oh, it was just a message, and I just do as I'm told." I'm like,
Wow.
Did he mention anything about my mortgage? But
Yeah,
she was,
that's a good way to start your day, right?
yeah,
Pay
yeah. I
it
was like,
forward somehow.
holy,
Yeah.
how cool is that?
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy. Usually you hear that of somebody paying the toll of the person behind them at a toll booth,
for
buying
a
a coffee or
coffee,
whatever. Yeah, right.
yeah,
But not a bodybuilder's groceries.
right. I had everything in there: tuna, rice, eggs, egg whites, PM spray, drinks. My cream of rice, all my mixtures. So I'm
And
set.
I know you look a little down on your luck, Jose, but she must have really felt bad for you.
Yeah, I maybe that was it.
Right.
You saw me like mumbling to myself. I looked like an
This poor
angry
guy.
little troll waiting in line.
His the short bus is waiting for you outside.
Yeah, I was wearing a hockey helmet, but she was cool. So that was a good story. I don't know if there's any moral or lesson, but maybe I'll go buy someone a coffee today. I ain't buying nobody's groceries. Sorry. Anyway, so we're here to talk about the New York Pro. Do you have the list in front of you?
Yeah, give me a second. I pulled it up.
Normally, you're really prepared like that.
Yeah, it's pulled up on Instagram. Let me do screen sharing.
While you're pulling it up, I want to discuss something. I've talked to Chris Aceto every hour on the hour since he's been down there, and because he's so excited about his guys he's working with, and it got us onto a topic that we were talking about. Was one of his guys is Hassan Mustafa.
Yep.
And Hassan is around 5'7", 265, and he is scary. Like, Chris is sending me pictures like hourly, and he's getting drier, tighter, and appearing to get bigger. It's just wild. And it brought us to the topic of the Egyptian bodybuilders. The Egyptians, the biggest bodybuilders we've ever seen on planet Earth are Egyptians. Like, per square inch, when you think, obviously, Big Ramy. Big Ramy's 5'10", 285 on stage, This kid, Hassan Mustafa, is 5'7", every bit of over 260, There was a guy back in the 90s named Mustafa Muhammad, who was an Egyptian, who was about 5'8", 265, like, with the craziest quads. They all have these incredible quads, which led us to the conversation of what is that? What is that genetic, almost an abnormality that you don't see anywhere else? Are they the missing link? Do the Egyptians have a missing what is that called? That gene? What is that? When they're missing the mutated
Myostatin.
Myostatin, yeah.
It was like Flex Wheeler was actually tested, and he was shown to be missing it.
But
Later,
Flex was beautiful. He wasn't massive like these guys.
They're like, yeah, these guys have quads like there's no end in sight. They'll keep growing.
Yeah.
You almost wonder, like you have the stereotypes within, black guys can't have calves, different things, right? And a black guy will tend to have more round muscle than a white guy who might be more dense and grainy, but a little flatter. So I don't know if that's going to be their stereotype, that they just have these quads. You see it with some of these Asian guys, and maybe with them it's more of an illusion. Their waist is so small, therefore their quads look crazy. But a lot of these guys coming out of China, over in Asia, their quads look stupid.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to do with that.
There's got to be some sort of genetic component to it, obviously. If anyone knows and anyone has an opinion, comment in the comment section. Let us know. All right, so before we move on to get started with the New York Pro, we want to remind everyone to subscribe to this channel. If you're liking the content, we've been working hard to put it all out and get you as much no-nonsense material out there as possible. So we would like for you to subscribe. As I said last week, Nate discovered that 88% of our viewers aren't even subscribing. So please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell your girls to subscribe, and everyone else. So let's get started with the New York Pro, Nate.
All right, Jose, here's the list. This is open men's right here.
All right. So do you recognize a lot of these names?
So the first two I don't. I don't know if you know anything about them. Suleiman and Antonelle.
I recognize every name except for Camilo Andres Diaz Garzon from Bogota, Colombia. Every other name I know. So
just who do you want to start with in terms of, like, I can pull up their Instagram stuff. Do you want to start from the beginning? You want to skip a couple guys and go to the main players?
Yeah, well, I'll just go down the list. You don't have to pull up every one of them. Okay. I know Suleiman is a Kuwait guy. He's a little taller. He's got potential. He gets grainy, vascular, but I don't see him doing a lot in this particular lineup. Antonelle Champagne is a former New Yorker who's down in Florida now. He had a crazy physique, crazy arms. He's a little older. I think this is a comeback show for him. When he was at his best, he was dangerous and could shake things up. I don't know where he's at today, so it's good to see him back. Max Charles is the.
Let me pull Max up here because
Max is the dark horse.
He's in the running here.
Not even dark horse. He's probably the most dangerous guy here. He placed out of the top 4 or 5 at the Arnold, and he was arguably the hardest guy there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that stuff. When he's on, the chest, shoulders, ab region, arms, he is crazy. Sometimes I think he's knocked for being so crazy looking that some of it doesn't look believable. The shoulders, the arms. But at the Arnold, he was spectacular.
Yeah.
So crazy conditioned and really nice look to him. Grainy, separated, striated. If Max repeats what he did at the Arnold, or even is better, then there's no reason he can't win the show.
Yep.
Really, there's not. We'll have to wait and see. No matter what, I have him in the first call out right away, and he could fall anywhere. From 1 to 5. I don't see him being less than 5. So next is Philip Klahar. That's Dave Palumbo's guy. He was also at the Tampa Pro. And we're going to get to see your search history here. Like chicks with balls.com.
This guy's a giant, huh?
He's a giant. He's tall. He's big. I think he's an older guy. and by older I just mean masters. He's gigantic, arms, legs. He's got everything. He just has to nail it. From the few videos that I have seen, Palumbo says that he's going to be significantly better than he was in Tampa, so that bodes well for him. You know, he's a big guy in stature, so he can really stand in any lineup because it doesn't look like he's missing any muscle. Just a matter of presentation and nailing the condition. Next guy's John Delarosa. John is my boy. Love that guy. You know, and as far as pretty physiques go, it's him and Patrick are clearly the two prettiest when it comes to small hips, small waist, big arms. You know, that silhouette. If you took a picture of their silhouette, the two of them have the most outrageous features in numbers. You know what I mean? It's all a matter of John being confident and nailing his condition, you know.
Not worrying about playing the size game.
Right. John, you know, God love him. He is his own worst enemy. You know, he can get in his own head, and instead of just, man, letting it play out. You know, you did all the work. You did everything you need to do. Let it happen. Let it ride. And let your physique do the talking. He's got everything. Arms, legs, calves, forearms, tiny joints.
It'll be interesting because, you know, we had him on the podcast. What was that? Maybe 3 weeks ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
You know, you ask him, how are you going to do? And he's like, well, I'll look about like last year. You know, I would have hoped to look better, but, you know, I'll be the same. And he might just be underselling himself. He may be a guy with not a lot of confidence. And he'll get up there. It'll be clear. I mean, I don't know how you train with Flex Lewis for a year and not be better.
Oh, he is. He's gonna be significantly better. And even though we saw the regular John where he's a little bit unsure, I guarantee his confidence every day is building just by being around Flex and having Neil in his corner and listening to Flex. And you learn a lot about the way someone handles themselves and how you can, you know, utilize that to your own advantage. So John is definitely a better John today than he was a year ago. And that's a scary proposition for other people.
So he's got to be in that top 5 mix as well, I imagine. I can't.
Oh, John is
out of the top 5.
I don't see how there's a possibility of John not being top 3, top 2. In this lineup, I don't see it possible. He would have to really mess up to not be dead center of a first call out, whether it's 1, 2, 3, somewhere in that middle. There would have to be something wrong, and I don't see anything going wrong with that. Dobry Delev, interesting guy. So Nate, he flew over, I don't know if it was 10 years ago, he flew over to compete at the Cutler.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. He and he won. He won the overall. He came over with a translator and a guy that, you know, was basically a sponsor, helped him, and he won the overall. Good guy. We competed in the Dominican Republic show together.
Okay.
We'd done a few shows together, but that one in particular, he placed second to me, I believe. He's a big dude, and he outgrew the 212. He's taller, he's big, he's crazy vascular, and I think he's still pretty young. You know, maybe early 30s. So he's one to watch. I don't know that he's going to do a whole lot in this lineup. If a lot of people slip up, he could end up in the top 5, 6 area, but I don't predict that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, the Camilo Garzon, I don't know that guy. I wish him the best. We'll see. Quentin Uriah, that's the kid from Canada.
Yeah, he's on the, was it HD Muscle with Dorian, with teammates with what's his name?
Ian.
The young kid.
Antoine or
Who else? Used to be with Aceto.
Oh, Regan. Regan?
Yeah, Regan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, so this guy's physique is absolutely bonkers.
Beastwood, right?
That's right. He was one that he looks so pretty that you would think he would be a classic guy, but he's way too big.
Let me pull up this. Q-U-I-N. Here we go. Quentin Beastwood.
Quentin Beastwood.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has that same classic shape. Crazy. The only thing you wonder for him is this like Regan Grimes, where even though he's shredded and he doesn't have any body fat, it's like new muscle on stage.
Yeah, I think he's very young.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. He's got to take his time. But from what I'm seeing,
25.
He's 25?
Like in that range, yeah, 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah, he's just getting started. He should enjoy everything he's doing and just watch as the years happen. This is in Florida, 48 hours from the show.
Yep.
He's got hamstrings. Look at the dimensions are just nuts.
Yeah.
But now picture that with, evenly spread out 15 more pounds in a couple of years, where he's just super round, keep that tiny waist.
Yep.
He's got everything. He's coming along.
Yeah, great front double by. It's obviously Patrick Moore, I think, is better in this shot, but it's kind of those same proportions of big arms, small waist.
Yeah. Patrick is 15 years older than this kid.
Yeah.
Or at least 10 to 12, where you notice it because Patrick has that maturity in his physique.
Yeah.
This kid is like fresh out of the box. He's but it's such a stunning physique that you can't help but look at him, talk about him, and wish him the best.
He's a guy that he's on Instagram. Everybody loses their mind over.
Yeah.
And does it translate to stage with the lineup that we have of guys with mature muscle? Like I just don't see him being in the top 5, given some of the older guys we have. Even though all of these photos on Instagram, he looks amazing.
Yeah. Well, amazing and mind-boggling are two different things.
Yeah.
Those pictures that are 48 hours out, you would have a feeling if I thought he was going to be a top 5 guy. I just don't right now, but he will be. Here's an interesting thing. Quentin Uriah, I don't have in the top 5, and the very next guy who couldn't even compare when it comes to the physique, Dorian Haywood, he's a guy that could make it into the top 5 just because of loads and loads of mature muscle. Now, you know what I mean? When it comes to physique, you can't even compare the two. It's not close. But Dorian is heavy D. He's a big old white boy with tons of granite muscle.
Here we go. That's a good shot for him.
Yeah. That's the type of thing. He reminds me a little bit of who was the kid we were talking about yesterday? He placed top 3 in Cal. He beat me at the Ferrigno.
Josh Wade.
He's like a Josh Wade.
Yeah, for top bodybuilding shows, he doesn't have the genetics to stand there, but he's just put the time in, put on so much muscle, and shows up conditioned.
Right.
So he beats guys with way better genetics.
Right. So if you slip up, this kid can come in and beat you. And don't be surprised when he is. He's just a workhorse who's put in the time. And you watch, there's a possibility of him beating a Quentin Uriah where that should never happen.
Right.
And you likely will beat him. It's crazy. So good luck to Dorian. I don't see him being a factor to win, but he can sneak in there.
Next, a lot of guys with way better genetics.
Right. Next is Kenneth Jackson. Ken is, I think this is his second or third show back after his injury. He had his tricep repaired. He's got a great physique. And he was making moves a couple of years ago. He's had a few injuries. The guy trains like, I mean, you don't even want to see it. 500 pounds for reps on the bench press, like nothing. Like, he can move weight. Crazy. Is this recent as well?
August 4th. So
okay. A month ago. It's pretty good. Great.
So this was just before Tampa.
Okay, and he did Tampa.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know that he did that well.
I want to say he was. I'm just guessing. I think he was like maybe 6th place or so.
Really?
Yeah, I think he might have snuck in. I could be way off on this, but for some reason I'm thinking he snuck in higher than I was thinking, given he doesn't have a lot of name recognition, and he was a shock to a lot of people there. I could be wrong, but that's what
the judges like him because he's got enough stature. You know, he's not short, he's not tall. He's and he's got beautiful shape.
Yep.
So that shoulder to waist ratio really stands out. Even look at that. I mean, that's crazy. And he's got just enough muscle, and it's all dense because he's been training super heavy for years.
Yep. He looks good in every shot. You know, yeah. He doesn't have a huge Instagram following. No one's really talking about the guy, but you watch him run through these poses, and he doesn't really have a bad pose.
Right.
Small waist, everything's round up top, round down below.
Yeah. Yeah, he's another worker. He's got a family. That's why he's not spending all his time on Instagram.
Right.
All right, Matt Kuba's next. Matt is another guy who is not overly genetically blessed, but he works his ass off. He's a Chris Aceto disciple as well. Matt, 99% of the time comes in sharp. You know, through the years, some of the knocks have been his posing. You know, needs to work on his presentation. Obviously needs a little more size. He's a taller guy. But, you know, he's another guy. He won't disappoint. I don't see him top 5 or 6, but, you know, he'll beat guys that he outworks. Now, speaking of genetics, this is probably the best genetics in the whole lineup. And that's Patrick Moore. Just got everything.
Alone, with Aceto in the gym. Look at that arm.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's been sending me videos and pictures every hour on the hour. He just looks nuts. And he's at or near, I hate to even say it because who knows with lighting and whatnot.
Right.
At or near what he looked like at the Olympia last year. Everything's in there, the hamstrings, the glutes, the shoulder width. Look at that. His front lat spread is completely nuts. Pec striated, sternum to shoulder. Just crazy.
I don't know if you want, I have in our text some of the photos that you sent me that Aceto sent. I don't know if you want to look at those. You want to keep those under wraps of some of the.
Which one do you have? You have like the side tricep?
Let me see. Can you see these?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from before. So we've got front lat, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We've got front double bi.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Show that side tricep.
Yep. Let me get up here. Where is it?
What are you showing the?
I went too far. Too far.
Yeah, where you going?
Oh, there's Matt. There's Matt.
Matt his ass.
I know. It has to make an appearance somewhere. All right.
Oh, my God.
Let me go back. There we go.
There we go.
All right. So let's start here. So back lat.
That's just crazy.
This one. Let's see.
This is nuts. If you wanted to take a picture of.
There we go. Crazy.
If you wanted to demonstrate what a side tricep is supposed to look like, that's it. And this was 3 days ago. his side leg and everything is all much harder, tighter. You know, this is crazy. So, I mean, he's going to be very difficult to beat. This photo is, I mean, literally an hour after he landed off a plane.
Mm.
So he's nuts. You don't even look like this anymore. This is.
Yeah, what you showed me the other day that Chris was sending was a whole other level. Just the cuts in his quads were way deeper.
Yeah. This yesterday was like hopping off a plane and taking some pictures.
Yeah.
Basically before pictures. So
and then we got Hassan after that.
Yeah.
You want to move on to Hassan?
Yeah, well we can just everyone knows Patrick. He was the breakout star of last year. Here he is in a rap video, and he who is that rap group where Eazy-E was in it? I think that's Eazy-E standing right behind him. Holy shit! I didn't know Patrick was that old. But yeah, Patrick is unreal. If I had to bet, he would be in the top 3 without hesitation. That's all.
The one point will be, I mean, he's going to have some of the best shape up there, the silhouette, right, of wide shoulders, small waist, big arms. Legs have picked up a little bit, so they're not as weak as they were. Is what direction do they go? Does when you have really thick guys like Hassan, who we'll get to, Ian, Antoine, you have a lot of just really big, thick guys, which Patrick isn't, but he's a lot prettier. Does he stand out, or is he behind all these other big, thick guys and placing after them, and the big guys are battling it out? You know what I mean?
Well, there's just so many factors. You can't just say, oh, they're bigger than him, because he's not small.
Right.
How big does he need to be? He looks unbelievable. He's a crazy looking dude. So his strengths have to outweigh their strengths, and his weaknesses have to be less than their weaknesses. And when I look at his physique, I think he nails all those things I just said. Yep. He's very few weaknesses. And one of them is that he's just not towering gigantic,
Right.
But the rest, he flows well. He poses very well. His presentation, his confidence, his conditioning, everything, every little aspect is going to be checking the box. So anyone who's bigger than him isn't really going to be harder than him.
Well, like you were saying, like, who beats him on this front lat spread? So who beats him on this side tricep?
Nobody.
Right. So, there's a couple poses there. This front double bi is great in terms of the silhouette of it.
His rear lat spread. Look at that. That is just doesn't even make sense. How small the waist is. And this looks nothing like what he looks like today.
Right.
His hamstrings are all dug out. It makes him look even bigger. He's just crazy looking. I have no question in my mind he's going to be one of the top 3.
Okay.
So next is this guy changes everything. Hassan Mustafa. You just don't know what to expect or what to say about him.
I'm going to pull up the pics you sent me, because all of these I don't think do him justice as much as hitting the mandatories. Let's see. Like this, this isn't the one you sent me this morning, but I
have something that is mind blowing.
So you sent me one. You can always text it through. It'll come through. Any shots you have. So this was right when they landed, right? Or he might have landed a little bit before Patrick, but this looks like it was around the same time as the Patrick photos.
Crazy. crazy. Backlash spread.
Crazy. It's crazy. Wait till you see this. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Oh, here's a cool thing, Jose, off topic, but just kind of a really, someone just sent me the new episode that just came out a half an hour ago of Nick Strength and Power.
Yeah.
The cover of it is me with Evan.
No shit.
About Evan being in crazy shape.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So before we, Chris sent me this one. He said he photoshopped it to make it look like he has 26-inch arms. And apparently he does. That's just crazy, this guy. So he's 5'7", and he's over 260. Look at that.
Grainy, but yeah, you can see hamstrings are
dug out.
Yep.
I mean, that is just crazy. The separation in the arm, the delts, the how tight his lower back is. This picture doesn't truly do him justice, but oh my God.
Yeah.
He's massive. Nobody on planet Earth right now has pound for pound, square inch muscle that he has. Nobody. Not even close. Not even Rami. Not. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, so, the photos you have, especially because obviously I think the knock has been right. His conditioning in past shows.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a good shot here. I guess I'm trying to find stuff on his Instagram that does him justice. The stuff that you have right now, pics that Aceto sent you, blow away.
Kill this.
Anything that he's done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good there, but he's 10 times harder today. Even in his face, you can see he's all sucked out today. The legs are decent, like separation, but today they're all vascular and really, really deeply striated. He's and he's still not what you would consider 100% of what he's capable of.
Right.
So I mean, the kid's really new to bodybuilding. He lives in Kuwait, but he's not a member of the Camel Crew. They don't sponsor him. They don't look after him. They don't, that's not, he does everything on his own. He's sponsored by Joe Binley in Project AD.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Joe is the one that brought him to Aceto.
Yeah, this is probably better. This was a few days ago.
Yeah. No, he's wilder today. He is scary big. And, if you were looking just at these photos, you'd be like, probably not ready to roll. I will guarantee 100 million% he'll be first call out. He has to be. Nobody has that kind of muscle. He's a myostatin bull. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
There's just too much muscle hanging out everywhere. So, yeah, this is a guy who very well could win the show. Very well could win. Willie, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'll tell you what. I'd love to see those different types of physiques. Him, that's my prediction, okay? Top 3, John, Patrick, and Hassan. They're all around the same height. Patrick's a little taller. And you couldn't have 3 more radically different physiques. But I think that's my own personal pick. Top 3 will be them because each for their own reason. John has a combination of Patrick and Hassan, huge legs, huge arms, lots of muscle, but real pretty shape, small hips. And then Patrick is the superhero aesthetic looking physique. So you have the 3 best of what they do. And I think those 3 will be.
John kind of splits the difference between them.
Yeah. And if John is right on, then he has a very good shot at winning. So let's move. Stephen Reese, that's one I'm not overly familiar with. I think he might have been a Masters guy. white bald guy. I think he might have done Tampa as well. Then you got Luis Rodriguez. He was he's done pretty well. You know, when he comes in shape, he's got the crazy arms.
Do you know his Instagram? Do you know what his IG name is?
Oh, it was something weird.
Like, is it LR Rodriguez? Something like that? We'll try that. If not, we'll give it up. LR. No.
I thought it was a weird name.
Yeah.
Luis Justin Rodriguez.
No.
He had a fake name.
Yeah, I know. It's not as easy to find as it should be if you're trying to. I don't know if he's trying to make a living as a bodybuilder, but he's hard to find on Instagram.
J-Rod, Justin. Yeah, he did a good job of making himself hard to find. So, hey, I've seen him many, many times. He's got a great physique. He needs to be 1,000,000% conditioned, and then he'll be dangerous. You know, he's placed top 2 or top 3 in a couple of shows. He put on a lot of size after turning pro, and he still hasn't nailed that new size condition, you know? But he's good. He could be good. I don't know Jorge Trejo Reyes. So I don't know much about him. I do know my boy Derek Upshaw Morgan, fellow Boston guy. He's working 40-hour work weeks in the he's in the union, laborer, dog lover.
And at this point, man, the surgery that he underwent, what, a year and a half ago or so?
Oh, he was almost decapitated.
Yeah. What was it? Thyroid cancer?
Yes. Yeah. And he's worked his way back. He's moving some weights again. That's him and Seamus.
Yep.
That dude is a ghost. Because Derek isn't very dark.
No.
Yeah, so Derek has come a long way. He battled through those scars. Oh, they had to remove his thyroid. His neck was crazy. It was right around the same time I had my hip done. So we were sending each other incision videos. Love Derek, though. He's a great dude. He loves bodybuilding, loves to train, and I wish him the best down there. You know, Derek's a little older. Derek's I think 46, 47. He's not a threat to win this, but Derek puts things in perspective. If he can beat a few guys that are off, if he can move up,
that's a victory.
Yeah, he knows how to rationalize his victories.
Yeah. And one of the, you know, I've known him now for a few years in the gym. One of the most intimidating guys, but the nicest guys once you get to know him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a scary dude because he's not small. He's
right.
You know, walks around 6 foot, 280, mean looking, and but he's got a heart of gold. You're right. So speaking of a 6 foot, 280 guy, you got Antoine Valiente coming up next. Antoine is another great story. Battled his own personal demons for a few years, made a comeback, got injured, tore his bicep, got that fixed, and now he's back. He's having fun. He's the most fun guy to watch doing, you know, you'll see him rave dancing, doing cardio, like making the strangest faces, the strangest videos. That's what attracted me to him originally, was he would be out in a field. This was years ago, out in a field, deadlifting 500 pounds, and then do, you know, a hamstring back tuck backflip, you know?
Jeez.
And he's a big dude. He's crazy athletic. And he has one of those like power classic physiques, you know?
Yeah.
He's got massive legs, yet he still pulls off a lot of those twisting classic style poses. What an all around fun guy. I love the guy. And I hope look at that vacuum, like sucking in his waist. That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
great abs.
Yeah. He's got it. He's got it all. Like, go back to that video right there. Back. You're gonna die.
That video. Yep. Let me go back a couple.
No, not that one.
Okay.
That was a good one too, though.
1 second. Is doing silly stuff. All right. Let's see if I can find. Sorry, this is Instagram on a computer is.
It's a little different.
A little weird. Here we go.
Right there. Right there in the middle. Yeah. Watch him dancing, doing his cardio like this. This is a strange cat right here.
Yeah.
The fact that he videoed it and posted it.
That's funny.
Is strange. I watched it like 5 times to figure out what the hell he's doing.
So the big question, obviously, he'll have some of the nastiest legs up there.
Yeah.
Has his upper body, obviously huge shoulders too.
Yeah.
But has his upper body caught up enough to balance him out and have him be a complete package?
I'll tell you what, if he's that conditioned, like that photo looks, it'll bring him up many spots because he'll have detail everywhere. Yeah, his upper body's not the thickest. I think he knows how to display himself well enough to
like these classic physique poses here.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting one. He could be a top 5 guy. There's no question. I've already told you my top 3.
Yeah.
So next would be Ian Valliere.
Yes.
Now, here's the kicker. This is not the Tampa Pro. If Ian is off like he was in Tampa, then top 5 would be a stretch here.
Yeah.
This is a very different lineup. I'm not shitting on Ian. I think his potential is through the roof, and he can do well. And if he looks like these photos, which were Tampa last year, then he will.
Is this Tampa last year?
Yeah, you can see in the background it says Tampa.
Yeah, right. But it would be Tampa this year, right?
Oh yeah. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Definitely the night show. He didn't look like that in prejudging.
Right. Well, that's another thing. He looked very different at night too. Yeah. Yeah.
So these were photos. This was his talking about embarrassment, shame, all of because of what happened in prejudging.
He's a smart kid, and he knows the mistakes he made. He will, correct those mistakes and move forward. But like I said, it's a very different lineup. If he's not significantly better, top 5 will be a victory for him. I don't see him beating the top 3 guys that I've already named. Mustafa's way too big.
Has he gone up against Patrick yet? Was he at last year's Olympia? I don't know if he was on somewhere in that range.
I think he might have been. I don't know if he was. It wasn't a very
memorable,
exciting experience for him. But anyway, this is clearly a lineup that he can be in the first call out. But if I see things like can he beat Max Charles? Balls on Max Charles, that version from the Arnold Classic. Now he has a prettier legs, bigger, more sweeping thighs, but is that enough? They both share the same weaknesses, which is their back development. Max's arms and shoulders and chest are just so stupid. You know, Max's midsection is incredible. So, and so far, and he's a lot older than Ian, so the maturity of his physique stands out a little more. So that's why I'm saying I think it would be top. It would be a real win for him to be top 5 here, and because I see John, I see Patrick, I see Hassan, I see Max Charles. Well, now that you're looking at it that way, I see Ian.
Yeah,
Ian,
top 5. Antoine obviously is up in the air because we just haven't seen him compete since he's brought his physique up more.
Yeah.
Ian, I feel like we kind of know what to expect, right? Like he hopefully should look better than the night show at Tampa. It's just where does that sit compared to these other guys?
All right, so I take it back. Ian should definitely be first call out in fighting for that top 3 area, you know. And 4 or 5 wouldn't be a huge surprise, you know. And then you have, after him, you'd have Dwayne Walker and Antoine Valiente fighting for the next spots, right?
Yep.
You would think. Dwayne Walker was unbelievable. Some people thought he could have been a notch higher in Tampa. He was so polished and so well put together. He was shredded. His condition was perfect. His color was perfect. And that's thanks to the Lord. Yeah, look at those shots of him. He's just got such a nice physique. Is that Tampa? Oh, no, that was the New York Pro last year, I think.
I think it's Tampa. He had the green trunks on.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, great look. We'll see. So that's going to be my top 5 right there. How's that? It's going to be.
So some combination of John. Let me go to the list. So John,
Patrick, Hassan.
Yep, as
Max
somewhere in the top 3.
Charles, Ian Valliere. That's 5. That's
5. Yep.
5 right there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Hassan will be interesting because he's still relatively unknown.
Yeah.
John's obviously very well known, and I think I don't know. Would you say John's the favorite to win?
He's the favorite in the sense that he's tried the hardest, and it would mean the most to him.
Right.
He's been in New York. John, I believe, has yet to crack the top 5 at an Olympia, top 10 at the Olympia.
Okay.
So would he be a favorite over Patrick? I'm not sure about that.
Right.
You know, he may physically have more wins than Patrick in the IFBB. So I definitely wouldn't say he's a favorite over Patrick to win. He's one of the favorites, and you know, certainly would be the feel-good story of the show. You know, he's been chomping at the bit. I would personally rather see him win in New York, you know, in front of his fans, and but if I, you know what, to win for John would just be another feather in his cap that he deserves.
Does Hassan have any wins? I know I remember seeing him at like 3rd place, but
yeah, 3rd at the Indy Pro.
Yep, like shocked everybody. Where people's like, "Who is this guy? Where did he come from?"
Yeah. No, he hasn't been competing very long, so I think he's only done a small handful of pro shows, and no, he's definitely not won any. And that's the goal, is to somehow get him to the Olympia and keep him rolling. Because, you know, another few months of fine-tuning, this guy can be nasty. And he's bigger than anyone. It's crazy. So that's it. There we have it. I don't have. Is there a 212 list out?
There is, yeah. If we want, so this is it right here. We might want to just quickly go through this and see. So,
that's right.
uh,
That's right.
I think we got to go with our boy Dietrich Bo Lewis on this one to
The
win.
three-legged man, Bo Lewis, is going to win this.
Jason Lowe's looking much better than Tampa in the current photos I've seen. Condition-wise, he's looks like a different person.
Yeah, and he's big. You know, he's packing a good amount of muscle. He's not packing like Bo Lewis, but he's got a lot of muscle. The top two, I would say, if everything falls as it should, would be Bo and Derek Oslin.
Yeah.
There's this guy, Adolphus Quota. He either won or was second up in Toronto a couple of years ago. He gets crazy peeled. He was overlooked a few times. So it'd be interesting to see how he ends up with these guys. Adolphus Quota.
Here we go.
There he is. Yeah, he's real dark with crazy separation, and he had good legs too. He's a little taller guy, but he was awesome last year in what was it? In Toronto. Yeah, those pictures are from the Toronto Pro right there.
Yep.
He's pretty good.
That's crazy.
I think he'll do all right in this lineup. And since I think Steve judged up in Toronto, he'll probably recognize him, and it means that he placed him pretty well there. If he's in shape, then he should be a fan of him equally today.
Right.
This weekend.
So yeah, here's let's see when this was taken. 12 hours ago.
Yeah, looks good. Looks like the legs are separated. He's just, wow, look at how crazy separated those legs are. Like, deep. He's just long. Looks like he's tall. He's probably not even that tall, but he's
right. He does look tall. If I saw pics of him, I would never think he was a 212.
Right. So I would have Bo Lewis, Derek, Adolphus, Jason Lowe. If Bola Ojax is in shape, Bola is always dangerous. I competed with him my entire career, and he's older than me, and he's good. He's big, thick, crazy quads. When he nails it, he's dangerous. He's top call out in every show he does. I don't know Emmanuel Rodriguez. I know Rixio Tapia. He this might be a lineup where he can, crack a top five. There's only 11 guys. He's an older guy. I don't know Jeff Williamson. I know Adam Young. Adam Young is he's the kid with the glutes. Always had crazy glutes. He's been a pro a couple of years now. See that?
Yeah. Very like a blocky physique.
Yeah. He was, when he first came out, he was coming in really good condition, and he was just losing out to people with a little better shape or whatnot.
Right.
He's just one of those things you got to keep pushing. Got to be kind of like the Dorian Hayward.
Yeah.
Of the 212 class. You're not going to beat guys that are prettier. There are guys that are a little bigger. So we'll see. Yeah, the rest of the lineup, I don't know. There's a guy, Fadi Falah, from Boston.
Yeah, do you know him? I saw the name.
Yeah, I know Fadi.
Rockland, Mass. Okay.
Yeah, he's a smaller dude. I think he was like a bantamweight.
Oh wow! Okay.
Turned pro at Masters, Team Universe, or something. So good for him. He's not going to be a threat in this lineup. He'd probably be better off doing Classic,
right?
Because he's pretty thin. But that'll do it, man. Good luck to everyone, and I hope this video doesn't last too long. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, that's all I got to add. I think you're right. I'm with you on certainly the open predictions. It makes it interesting because I think even in the top four, you don't know which way it's going to go.
Right.
You know, like any one of those guys. There's sometimes in this show, the clear cut. Here's this guy's going to win it, because you'd sometimes have someone who needs to requalify for the Olympia.
Right.
You know, somebody's just coming back to win it, get their qualification. And this year, any one of those four guys that we mentioned, I think could win.
Yeah.
So it's what's their conditioning? I think it's going to be a conditioning game at this point. They all have plenty of muscle. They all have good shape. It's who brought the extreme conditioning, and then which way did the judges go? Because they all look great. They just have a different look.
Right. Yeah. We'll see about that. We'll do a review on Sunday or Monday and see if our predictions were close, or see how many awful mistakes we made. And
Might surprise us, right? Pleasantly surprise us.
Right. There's always something.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Right. We'll give people our view of what went on down there. All right, man.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. We'll talk.
Bye.